Isn't that exciting? Just before 12 o'clock on Thursday, February 2nd. Is it February 2nd? Yep, it's February 2nd. And I would just like to say hi to everybody because I am doing a wrap-up for the Sincerely campaign. So, what you'll notice on the page right here is the Sincerely hoodie. Our friends at Represent have been very, very patient with me. I started this campaign way back, oh my God, like mid-November. And the plan originally was to run this basically until the end of the year, like until Christmas Day. And then what we ran into, frankly, was just a comedy of errors. So if you're taking any lessons from all of this, and we'll talk about the Sincerely campaign in a second, but if you're taking any lessons from all of this, here's the lesson. Don't run a campaign in the middle of a stretch where you're not in the same place for more than a week, unless it's the Caribbean when you're on vacation and you really shouldn't be focused on anything but family time. Does that make sense? So basically, the month of January for me has been somewhere between British Columbia, Los Angeles, California, out in the desert, Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Texas. Had a bunch of weird injuries. You know, I never injure myself on set, except for that one time. Never really injure myself on set, and yet going to the gym, I get all these weird, stupid injuries, which is very frustrating. So, the Sincerely campaign. We're going to leave it live, I think, for the remainder of the day. But basically, view this as your last day if you want to participate. The Sincerely campaign is really focusing on mental health. We're going to be donating a great deal of money to 3 charities, which I'm very excited about. Pause for Life, Pause and Stripes, and Stand for the Silent. These are 3 charities that are important to me. 3 charities that I know personally. I know who runs them. I know where the money's going. Pause for Life is focusing on having inmates train dogs and just basically give them a vocation. These are inmates that oftentimes are in for life sentences, and their work in the community has helped lessen some of those sentences. And just from a rehabilitation perspective, I think what they're doing is really excellent. It's a prison program. It's based in California. Paws and Stripes is a charity that focuses on teaming up service animals with our veterans, our men and women, who might be dealing with, most of whom are retired, who might be dealing with just the effects of serving, and a lot of the things that can take place once you're back home. And Stand for the Silent is really focusing on bullying in schools, how it can affect kids, and just making sure that if a kid is ever in a young woman or a young man is ever in a difficult spot, they have someone to talk to and they have a story to hear. So those are all really important to me. Sincerely is a word that I randomly created. The campaign is through our friends at Represent. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts. I think the mugs are done, the hats are done, the tote bags are done. But from a clothing perspective, you can get stuff for the remainder of the day. And I think that's sort of it. I think that's it. Just wanted to come back on and just let people know that this campaign is going to be wrapping up. It's been an incredibly successful campaign. Again, the fits and starts of the whole thing, it's been a while since I've done a campaign with Represent, and their business model and the way that they do things has changed a little bit. There used to be like a counter on the page, and you could see what was going on, and we do them 2 weeks at a time, and there'd be a rush, and then it'd slow down, and then there'd be a rush, and then it would slow down. But I think that what they do is great, and we ship everywhere in the world. So let me answer some questions here. It's not always easy for me to answer questions when I'm talking publicly. Why don't you grow your hair back? How do you know I didn't grow my hair back? It looks relatively long to me. Okay, great. A bunch of people are adding it to the